Hey y'all, it's your girl Michaela from Budget Like a Teacher, where we 9 to 5 millennials and maybe even busy moms come together to manage our money, to save our money, and to ditch the debt. Because we all know that debt got millennials in the chokehold. But it's alright, because we all gonna get through this. Alright, let's jump right into the video. We all know that life is going to life, but you want to have simple things in place that is going to help you to stay on top of your money without feeling like you have been overwhelmed with yet another thing. So, these are 3 things that I make a habit of doing to stay on top of my funds. All right, y'all already know I'm a teacher, so class is in session. Let's talk today about staying consistent with our money by doing these 3 simple things. Number 1, check in with your money weekly. This does not have to be the super long, drawn out process. You just need to check in with your money and make sure that the money is doing exactly what you told the money to do. So, actually, if we want to be technical, we got to take a step back because we got to do some pre work before we jump into this habit. Because in order for you to check in with something, you had to have made the budget. Because if you don't make the budget, there's nothing for you to check in on. We call this inspecting what we expect. So, our budget, our expectations for what our money is going to do for us. So, first of all, make the budget. If you have never made a budget, I have a couple of videos already on my channel where I have sat and made my paycheck budget with you all. I am a zero-based budgeter. If you've never seen it before, there are some videos that you can reference. I also have a template that I use to organize my money every single time I get a paycheck. First things first, you have to make the budget. Then you can move into habit number 1, which is checking in with your money. So, what exactly are we looking for when we check in? I'm glad you asked. That was a good question. So, you need to make sure that whatever bills you thought were going to come out during that week have actually come out. You need to make sure that the amounts that were supposed to come out have actually come out. I cannot tell you how many times in the last year that companies have gone up on their rates, and I'm like, not knowing, because they ain't gonna send no email, child, not knowing that it's gone up. For instance, Peacock used to be $7.99. Then the last, I think 2 months ago, when I was checking in on my budget, they don't went up to $10.99. But I would have known that if I didn't make it a point to check in with my budget. So make sure that your spending looks exactly how it needs to look. So this is in the form of expense tracking. Make sure that your savings looks exactly how you want it to look. Now, I don't do this every week, but once a month, I even check on my credit score because it's only going to renew about every month. So every third of the month, I know that my credit score has some kind of way updated. And so I go ahead and I check that every third or fourth of the month. So the goal here is that you're just checking in on your money and making sure that things look exactly how they're supposed to look according to your plan. Simplify, or you can even simplify and automate. It just depends on what you need to do. Automation is going to be your best friend. I cannot stress this enough. A lot of people are afraid to put their bills on auto pay, but think about the peace you're going to have knowing that your bills have been paid and you didn't have to use the extra energy, brain power, bandwidth to get that done because you've already put it in place for yourself. Now, there are certain bills that, depending on your situation, you always want to go ahead and automate. Now, me personally, I'm going to automate that mortgage because me and my kids need somewhere to live. Like, I'm not going to risk forgetting to pay the mortgage. So I go ahead and let them people have their money. It's the first bill that comes out every single month, so I'm never worried about the money not being there. The money is going to be there because I haven't spent it on anything else yet. I do automate my electricity bill, but caveat to that, My electric company does tell me what my bill is going to be 3 weeks in advance. So 3 weeks before I even need to pay the bill, I already know what the bill is going to be. If your electric company does not do that, I would not put that on auto draft, because you do not want any surprises. You trying to guesstimate and you thinking the bill is going to be $150 and it's actually $300. Yeah, no, that's a no-go. But if you will already know in advance, go ahead and automate it. Okay, if you have a car note and you feel like your car is something that you absolutely need, you cannot afford to forget and miss a payment, automate your car note. Do whatever you need to do. Automate your savings. Okay, if you are a I'ma pay myself, I'ma do something for myself first type of person, automate your savings. That way the money that you intended on saving is not getting caught up in your bill money, in your spending money. I also automate my spending money. I sit there and I decide, okay, this is how much money I'm gonna need for gas, this is much money I'm gonna need for groceries, work lunch, this is how much money I'm gonna spend on these kids this week, and I go ahead and I send that to my other account. That way I'm never worried about my spending money and my bill money being in the same place and risking spending money that I needed for a necessity. All right, if your budget is all over the place, you have way too many steps. You need to simplify. Once you simplify, go ahead and automate the things that you feel comfortable automating. Maybe you need to do just one bill, and then after you see it's not as scary as you thought it was, then you can start adding some more bills on your automating. The only bills I don't really automate is childcare, because I have to go get a physical money order for that. But I wish it was a way to pay online, because maybe I would automate that too, because I'm never not going to pay for daycare. And I also don't automate the water bill, but that's because our system is super outdated. There is no way to let them automatic draft. Like, you literally have to log into your account every other month and manually pay the bill. But whatever. But the things that I can't automate, I do automate. So that is habit number 2. Habit number 3 is give yourself some type of visual reminder. Baby, if you like me, you are an out of sight, out of mind type of person. At work, teacher, staff, whoever already know, put it on my calendar, or tell me to put it in my planner, because if I don't write it down, if I'm not able to sit down and reference it again, I am going to forget. So if you need a visual, whether that be a sticky note, you want to color code your sticky notes. If you're that type of person, do that. If you need to write your stuff down in like a planner, I personally have a happy planner, and I use the monthly spread to write out all of the bills that are going to come out in that month, because I need to visually see what is coming out. I also write down my kids' events, because a lot of times their events affect my budget. So I need to see when things are happening and what exactly is happening, so I'll know what I'm checking in for. Going back to that habit number 1, I need to see it to be able to do habit number 1 in the first place. Or you might be a vision board, goal board type of person. So if you are one of those people who at the beginning of the year, or maybe even on your birthday, you like to set goals, you might have a vision for yourself, make that vision board. Post it somewhere that you're going to see it every single day, so that you can go back to whatever goals that you have, because a lot of times our goals are going to drive our decisions. Hopefully, when you see the goal that you have for yourself, it's going to stop you from the impulse buying or the splurging. When you see that I'm trying to save for a house, I'm trying to save for a car, I want to be able to pay for my own education without taking out student loans. That's me right now. You are going to stick to the budget. And sometimes your goals ain't gonna give you a choice. Your goals gonna be so lofty that you ain't got no money to splurge. You ain't got no money to go off track with. So make sure that you stay in tune. You have a visual of the things that you are trying to do, so you keep yourself on track. All right, y'all, class discussion time, because we are going to jump down in the comments and we need to talk about which one of these habits we need to hone in on, or if you have something that you make sure that you do on a regular basis, this can be weekly, this can be daily, something that you do on a regular basis to make sure that you stay on track with your budget, drop them down in the comments, because here we're going to commune, we want to help each other, we want to make sure that everybody reaches whatever goal they're trying to reach. So if you have things that you do to keep yourself aligned with your goals, go ahead and drop them down in the comments. And I want you to sit here and I want you to reflect. Hey, have you even made your budget? Have you made your budget? If you ain't made your budget, you got to go. You got to go. Go on right now. Go and make the budget right now. This is the perfect time because November is about to roll in. Go ahead and make that budget. Have you checked in with the budget? Or did you set it and forget it? I'm about to date myself. Do y'all remember? Do y'all remember the infomercial with the rotisserie chicken? I can't think of the man's name. His name is Ron or something like that. But anyway, do y'all remember the rotisserie chicken? And they used to be like, set it and forget it. That used to be their punchline to make the people want to buy. But anyway, my grandma used to have one of those, so that's how I remember it. We used to have a rotisserie. Matter of fact, we had 2 rotisseries at one point. But anyway, don't set it and forget it. We're not rotisserie chicken. Check in on your budget, okay? Also, don't be afraid of that auto draft, that auto pay. Automate. Do it. Game changer. And lastly, do you need a visual? Or are you out of sight, out of mind? I'm out of sight, out of mind. I need my visual. I need my visuals to make sure that you are checking in on your budget, making sure that it's doing what you need it to do for you. Make the budget work for you. All right, y'all, that is it for today. Thank y'all for hanging out for me. Thank you for coming to class. Thank you for being on time. Thank you for being engaged into the lesson. And until tomorrow, y'all make sure to keep it classy. And we are now adjourned. Bye, y'all.